You can close your eyes to the things you don't want to see, but you can't close your heart to the things you don't want to feel. He was Hollywood's wildest dream, the rebel with the soft voice, the man who turned chaos into art. From Edward Scissorhands to Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp wasn't just acting. He was rewriting what it meant to be a movie star. But behind the eccentric charm and endless applause, something darker was brewing. The headlines turned from box office magic to courtroom madness. The world that once adored him now dissected him, piece by piece, headline by headline. Was he a villain or a victim of the fame machine he helped create? At 62, Johnny
Thông
Depp's
thường.
story isn't just about
Tuy nhiên, sau khi được trao vai, Johnny Depp đã bất ngờ lấy cảm hứng từ ngôi sao
lose himself in the storm of love, lies, and the hunger of a world that never stops watching. Urodziła się 12 grudnia 1978 roku w Krakowie, mieście, gdzie tradycja spotyka się z marzeniem. W domu Liszowskich nigdy nie brakowało muzyki. Ojciec, lekarz, grał na fortepianie po godzinach, matka śpiewała w chórze. Joanna od dziecka chłonęła dźwięki, jakby były jej naturalnym językiem. W wieku 8 lat po raz pierwszy wystąpiła na szkolnej scenie. Wtedy zrozumiała, że światła reflektorów nie tylko oślepiają, one ogrzewają. Ale dzieciństwo nie było bajką. Rodzice często się kłócili, a mała Asia zamykała się w pokoju, nucąc cicho piosenki, które miały zagłuszyć łzy. To właśnie wtedy nauczyła się, że emocje można ukryć pod uśmiechem. W liceum teatralnym w Krakowie była jedną z najlepszych. Ambitna, uparta, pełna życia. Marzyła o wielkiej scenie, ale też o miłości, która będzie jak w filmie. Po ukończeniu Akademii Sztuk Teatralnych zaczęła pierwsze występy w teatrze, a później w telewizji. Wszyscy mówili, ma w sobie coś magnetycznego. Za tą siłą jednak stało pragnienie akceptacji. Echo z dzieciństwa, w którym chciała, by ktoś wreszcie zobaczył ją naprawdę. Od małej dziewczynki z Krakowa do gwiazdy ogólnopolskiej, droga Joanny Liszowskiej była jak bajka, ale każda bajka ma swoją cenę. It began far from Hollywood, in Owensboro, Kentucky, 1963. A small-town boy with a crooked smile, a chipped guitar, and parents who argued more than they laughed. Johnny grew up moving from place to place, 13 homes before he turned 15. Every new town meant new walls to hide behind. His mother, Betty Sue, was a tough Southern woman with a temper as fierce as her love. His father, John Christopher Depp, was quiet, the kind of man who left without goodbye. When Johnny was 15, he came home to find his father gone, a note left on the table, and his mother broken. That night, he learned what absence really sounded like. Music became his escape. A cheap guitar became his only friend. He played in garage bands, dreaming not of fame, but of freedom, a way out of the noise. School couldn't hold him. He dropped out to chase the rhythm of a world that felt bigger than Kentucky. But even as he stood on stage, strumming away the pain, something in him stayed restless. The sense that no matter where he went, he'd always be the outsider looking in. That hunger, that ache for belonging, would one day make him magnetic to millions, and just as easily destroy him. A cigarette lit in the dark. A young man with a leather jacket and eyes that refused to follow rules. That was how Hollywood first saw him. Johnny Depp didn't plan to become a movie star. He just wanted to survive. In the mid-1980s, he was living off ramen and odd jobs in Los Angeles when fate came knocking in the form of Nicolas Cage, who told him, "You should try acting." One audition later, Johnny was killed off at the street and a career was born. Then came 21 Jump Street. Overnight, he became the face of teenage rebellion, the heartthrob every network wanted. But Johnny hated it. "I felt like I was being turned into a product," he'd say later. So he did the unthinkable. He walked
của gã
away
thuyền
from
trưởng
fame
Jack Sparrow,
into the arms
khác
of
với những
art.
tên cướp biển hung tợn từ lâu đã tồn tại trong
Working with Tim Burton, he crafted the kind of characters Hollywood didn't know it needed. Fragile, strange, beautiful misfits like Edward Scissorhands and Ed Wood. Each role felt like a confession, each performance a mirror to his fractured soul. By the time he swaggered onto the deck as Captain Jack Sparrow in 2003, he had turned eccentricity into legend. Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon. $3 billion at the box office, an Oscar nomination, kids dressed like him, adults quoted him. For a while, Johnny Depp could do no wrong. He built his own world, a rock and roll kingdom of guitars, wine, and friends like Keith Richards and Hunter S. Thompson. He was the last of a dying breed, the movie star who lived like the characters he played. But behind the eyeliner and charm, the old ghosts never left. The boy who once ran from home was still searching for peace, and Hollywood, with its bright lights and hungry
nhạc
cameras,
rock Keith Richards và mang tới một màn trình diễn lạ thường đến nỗi nhiều lãnh đạo của Disney
a private island in the Bahamas, guitars worth millions, the freedom to choose every script, every goal, but fame, when it runs too late, always leaves ash behind. Johnny Depp's downfall didn't come from a single bad movie. It came from love. In 2012, he met Amber Heard, young, beautiful, magnetic. She called him her soulmate. He called her his everything. Their romance burned fast and loud, the kind of love story tabloids devour. But behind the red carpets and diamonds, the fights began to echo through hotel rooms and headlines. By
đã mang về cho Johnny Depp một đề cử Oscar cho phần phim The Curse of the Black Pearl.
The air like smoke, each side claiming to be the wounded one. The world took sides before the truth could even breathe. In the age of social media, judgment comes before evidence and hashtags are louder than facts. Warner Brothers cut ties. Disney quietly turned its back. The man who once made billions for Hollywood was now poisoned to touch. He lost roles, friends, and his sense of who he was. It was like being erased, he said once. Courtrooms became stages, lawyers the new co-stars. Every tear, every text, every bruise, replayed before millions who had once cheered for him. And yet, beneath the chaos, there was still that same boy from Kentucky, the one who never fit in, now trapped inside the machinery of a fame that devours its own. He sat quietly in the courtroom, sketching little portraits as if drawing was the only way left to stay human. When the verdicts finally came, first in London, then in Virginia, they weren't just about who was right or wrong. They were about something far more brutal. How easily a life can be dismantled by perception. He lost nearly everything. Reputation, money, peace of mind. But the cruelest loss was silence. That Hollywood silence that follows when the phone stops ringing. For years, Johnny Depp had played characters who didn't belong. Now, he was living it. Fame had made him untouchable. Then it made him invisible.
Công viên Disneyland, chuỗi phim Pirates of the Caribbean kể về những chuyến phiêu lưu kỳ ảo đầy mạo hiểm.
Just a man in his 60s, sitting in a quiet French village, holding a guitar instead of a script. For the first time in decades, Johnny Depp was free, not from scandal, but from the noise. He began to paint again, to play music the way he once did before the fame. His band, Hollywood Vampires, became his refuge, a circle of friends who didn't care about court verdicts or red carpets. On stage, he didn't need to speak about what happened. The chords said it for him. In 2023, he reappeared at Cannes, walking slowly down the red carpet for Jean du Barry. The applause was hesitant at first, then it swelled. For a moment, you could see it in his eyes. Relief, disbelief, maybe even forgiveness. He'd stopped trying to explain himself. "I'm not back," he told a reporter quietly. "I never left." It wasn't defiance, it was peace. He now spends most of his days painting portraits of people who, like him, have known what it means to be misunderstood. His art sells out in hours, not because of his fame, but because of what it represents: survival. In a world that chews up its icons, Johnny Depp found his way back through stillness. He no longer chased applause. He listened to silence. He rediscovered that art, when stripped of ego, can heal even the deepest wounds. And maybe that's his quiet victory. After losing everything, he remembered how to feel again. Decades after his first scream in A Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp remains one of the last true originals in Hollywood. He never fit the mold, and maybe
Tiềm
that's
thức
why
của
he
nhiều người,
endured.
Jack Sparrow là một gã sĩ hượng, say xỉn và lắm tài nhiều tật.
There was a piece of himself stitched inside. The vulnerability of Edward Scissorhands, the madness of the Mad Hatter, the swaggering loneliness of Jack Sparrow. He didn't just play outsiders, he spoke for them, for the misfits, the dreamers.
Hắn dành cả cuộc đời chỉ để tìm kiếm rượu rum, con tàu ngọc trai đen và sự tự do để được.
Those same people stayed because they saw themselves in him. Today, Johnny Depp
Disney còn cho rằng anh đang phá hủy cả bộ phim, nhưng chính màn diễn xuất lạ lùng đó cuối cùng sau đó, Johnny Depp tiếp tục gắn bó với loạt phim cướp biển qua 4 phần hậu truyện và biến Jack Sparrow thành của nam diễn viên này đều trở thành một dị bản của gã cướp biển.
In the end, he may have lost the Hollywood crown, but he kept something far more rare: authenticity. Even the brightest lights can flicker, a narrator might whisper.
This is for Magic Wise.